Okay, sweet. Cool, guys. So first of all, thank you so much for spending your time with me this morning and signing up and joining the webinar. Put a lot of prep into this. Got about like 100 and something slides to get through. So I'm going to crack on. I'm not going to wait for people to show up. So today, obviously, we're covering the 30K a month profit agency fast track. And main reason that I wanted to do this is like, one, I haven't done one of these in a long time in the community for all of you guys that are in here that have bought the book. So I want to just connect with all of you guys and with all of the agency owners that I've been working with one-on-one. We've been getting some crazy results recently. I've had many people that have been scaling their agencies very, very quickly. And so I just want to show you guys the reality, the real strategies that are working in the trenches at the moment for growing agencies very, very quickly. That's why we're all here. And so we're going to be covering why agencies scaling the fastest right now are only doing the 3 things that we're going to be covering on today's training and ignoring absolutely everything else. While we're doing the training, just make sure that your mics are off so that there's no background noise. And at the end, we're going to be doing 30 minutes of Q&A. I don't have anything directly after this as well, so we can go a little bit over as well. So while I'm going through the content, just have like a Google Doc open or notes app so that you can be jotting down questions so that you can save it for the end, and we'll dive into Q&A. Also, as just like a random thing to do for no particular reason, just to give back to the community, I'm going to be giving away a MacBook Air to one of you guys that are live on the call today. But you have to be live towards the end of the call because I'll do a draw at the end, and you have to be live on the call to be able to accept that. So stick around to the end of the call for that. So just so that we know who's here and who I'm talking to, just let me know, because it's always cool to see where you guys are joining from all over the world. I'm based in Australia on the Gold Coast. Just let me know where you're at in the world right now, and how long have you been in the agency space? Are you like pre-launch, like just getting started? Are you under a year? Are you a bit of a veteran? Cool, we've got a bunch of people. So Toronto, Sydney, Australia, Denmark, Italy, Sydney, Melbourne, Arizona. Some of you guys are on 2 years, just getting started. Dallas, Central Coast, Nigeria, Perth, Brisbane. Yeah, cool. All over the place. So in the next 90 minutes, my main goal for all of you is to give you clarity in your business where there's currently confusion, give you confidence where there's currently uncertainty. A lot of you have imposter syndrome or uncertainty around if your offer is the right offer, or if you're selling the right thing, or not confident that you can actually deliver the results for the service that you're trying to sell. I'm going to try and unpack all of that and give you confidence and clarity on what you need to be doing. And at the end of the day, give you a simple roadmap to 30K a month profit, not revenue, profit, and beyond. I've worked with guys that have gone on to scale to $250,000, $300K a month. I've sat at the 7-figure run rate for a long time with my own business. So all this stuff applies with scaling beyond that as well. So the 3 things that we're going to be covering today are genuinely the only 3 things that matter in your business. And, I kind of hyped up this training on the basis of, 6 people that I worked with had just gotten $200,000 worth of new clients. And a lot of people, that sell courses or that, launch training in this agency space just focus on client acquisition and getting clients. And there's a huge amount of blind spots for the other mechanisms in the business that feed directly into making sure that you can actually scale your agency and making it easier to get clients. And so the first component of that is obviously your offer. If you don't have a good offer in terms of the fundamentals of your deliverables as well as how you're actually positioning your offer to the market, then it's going to be very difficult to scale the business and get clients. And no matter what strategy that you're doing to get sales calls booked on the calendar, it's going to be very, very difficult. Next is the actual acquisition strategy, the marketing assets that we build, the strategy that we use, the sales process that we use to get high quality calls on the calendar consistently every single month. Some of the examples that I'm going to run you through, we've had guys that are getting 15 clients back to back every single month. I've had clients that have done acquisition sprints who got 22 clients in a single month. The strategies that I'm going to show you are what took my agency from I was stuck at like 20 something K a month for 2 years, and then scaled rapidly to the 7-figure run rate in genuinely 90 days. So going to be breaking down exactly what we did to make that happen. And then the fundamentals of service delivery and getting your clients results, because if obviously you're not getting your clients results, you're not creating good case studies, you're not having good client retention. All of the money in the agency space is made in money over time, the retention of your clients, so that they can be worth $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to your business. And creating high quality case studies and social proof is what makes it easier to attract clients going forward and build your authority in your marketplace. So all of the agencies that are growing the fastest right now, they're not doing more, they're not working like a dog, they're not doing some kind of fancy strategies that you don't know that exist behind the scenes. They are just doing these 3 things really, really well. And my goal with this training is just really simplify everything and give you clarity around what you need to be doing in these core areas so that you can model it and replicate it. At the end of the call, I'm gonna share an opportunity for you guys to work more closely with me. I just wanted to let that out there so we can just chill and relax on the training. This training is not just like some kind of hype up for a pitch whatsoever. There's no weird pitch, no pressure at all. Just gonna give you guys an opportunity to have a conversation with myself and my team to work more closely with us. But just wanted to get that up front so that we can just chill and consume the content in the training. So let's dive in. I'm not going to spend much time at all on my backstory. If you guys are here right now, everyone has either read my book or come across my content, but I just wanted to kind of rehash the elements that are relevant to the training that we're going to be covering today. If somehow you found this link and have no idea who I am, I've been in the agency space for creeping up on 8 years now. Scaled my agency to $3 million, worked with over 200 clients, creeping up on closer to 300 clients right now in the real estate industry. Our primary offer is AI-enabled lead generation, paid ads for real estate professionals, primarily focused on seller lead generation. Also do a bit of work with developers and agents selling like off-the-plan projects internationally. And about 3 years ago, started doing coaching, started getting into the info space because it's something I'm really, really passionate about, and have been able to help over 100 agency owners now get to the high multi-6-figure run rate with the agency, and over 10 people have gotten to a 7-figure run rate as well. It was 2021 was when I first cracked the glorious like 7-figure run rate month. These are like the screenshots that I saved on my phone that I've still got when I first cracked that. But the reality was, when I first hit there, I stayed there for about like a year and a half, but things stayed very, very broken. Like on the surface, you would have assumed that everything was great. It was great on paper. The business was doing $1 million a year. I had a full team in place. I'd kind of fixed some of the chaos. I had a media buyer, had virtual assistants, had closers, had appointment setters, had months where we were getting 16 new clients per month. But behind the scenes, I'd kind of built a business where it was not at all what I signed up for. I personally built this business to be my personal cash cow, to be a lifestyle business that I'd have a lot of excess cash flow to live an incredible life of freedom, grow my wealth along the way, invest heavily into stocks and crypto and real estate. But the lifestyle was not where I wanted it to be. Working 12-hour days, cash flow was very, very volatile. Some months we would be making 120K a month, then back down to 60, then back up. And when you start building a bigger team, that volatility is scary and stressful. Still having like non-stop client drama, still getting pulled into the weeds of the business, margins would become thin, and eventually just being in those golden handcuffs. And it took me about like once I kind of was fed up with being in that stage of the business, I knew something had to change, or I was genuinely just going to give up and move on to something else, or I don't know what I was going to do. But I completely reworked the entire business, and that's how how a lot of you have found out about me. I created this kind of one-man agency model where I stripped everything back. I simplified the entire business, created really streamlined operations, made the team smaller, simplified our service offering, made the acquisition process more simple, and allowed us to be more profitable at smaller margins and find that sweet spot of being at a medium to high level of scale, but very, very high margins, and still maintaining that lifestyle freedom. And that's how I kind of arrived on the one-man agency model, and it's genuinely allowed me to achieve my dream lifestyle. I've used the agency to be my personal cash cow, fund my lifestyle, luxury travel quite often, flying business class, being able to buy my fiance a dream ring. We're getting married in a few months, which is cool. I've been able to buy my dream watches, invest in invest in crypto, and recently started to get into property development. And some of the guys that we've been recently working with, we've been able to help scale super quickly. Aaron, I'm not sure if you guys have seen his YouTube video on my channel, but we got him to 73K a month. He was actually at 8K a month when we started working together, not 10K. And he got 22 clients in a single month. We're going to be breaking down how he did that today. Krish, he got to 43K a month with a brand new agency. He was originally running an agency working with like med spas and cosmetic clinics, relaunched in the real estate niche, got to 43K a month in only 4 months. James, who did February that just passed, he hit his first 50K cash collected month. January and February this year, he got 15 clients every single month. I'm doing an interview with him on Thursday, which I'm super excited about, to break everything down with him. But this is just to show you guys, like, this stuff is working right now, not from like 2 years ago or not from like 5 years ago in the early days of the agency space. This stuff is working right now in the current landscape. This December that just passed, I hosted my first in-person mastermind event, which was incredible. I want to do more of these around the world, hopefully this year, where we had about like 20 agency owners that all showed up. The average revenue in that room was, was about like 50K a month. There was some people in the early stages, some people doing over 200K a month, had really cool businesses. And so I was able to get a really kind of broad perspective on what's working for agency owners in all different industries all over the world. And today is what I'm going to be sharing with you, the kind of most valuable takeaways from that mastermind as well. So for the next 90 minutes, I just want to ask that I've got your full attention. Kind of treat yourself like going on airplane mode right now. Just turn off your distractions, close your other tabs, put your phone away, because I can't think of anything more important than learning the stuff that I'm about to run through with you. Get your coffees ready, get caffeinated, whatever else that you need. So we're about to get into the training. So just type "I'm in" the chat when you're ready to go and you've genuinely locked in and focus. Awesome, guys. Cool. Let's get into it. So before we get into the system, just wanted to talk about, what keeps most agencies stuck and what causes most agencies to fail. So when you're in the early stages, say if you're like below 10K a month at the moment, most of you have a real issue with just, you don't have a consistent way to get clients. You just got like kind of scattered spray and pray approaches with cold outreach. You're kind of just taking on any work that you can get. Fair enough when you're in the early stages just to get some cash in the door. A lot of the times your fees are too low and you're just still doing everything yourself. Those are kind of the main challenges that most people have in the early stages. Then when you're kind of creeping up to about like 10 to 30K a month, sorry, you're kind of in this state of delivery hell. Like, clients are needy. You've maybe have gotten a VA, started to outsource stuff, but you're still getting pulled in the weeds. You're still the main point of contact for clients. Hiring and outsourcing more kind of significant roles that might be like client facing or other roles really feels like a gamble, because you don't have enough margins to throw money around, and it just feels really scary. Profit margins, can be super thin here. Maybe you're doing a lot yourself, so maybe profit margins aren't horrible, but you still aren't in a stage where you feel like you can aggressively reinvest back into the business to get to that next stage, and you're fundamentally still the bottleneck. But at the end of the day, the core issue for everyone is really just uncertainty. Like, you don't know what is exactly the next lever to pull. I think most people just have like analysis paralysis. There's all these different things that you can do, and like the definition of strategy is the order of execution. There's always a million things that we can be working on in the business, and good entrepreneurs know what to focus on and what to ignore. And so just like, if I've missed anything, just drop in the chat right now, like, what's the number one thing holding you back right now, so that in the Q&A, and based on what we covered today, I can make sure to kind of highlight the right stuff. What is like the single number one thing that is holding you back right now from scaling the business aggressively? So we've got new clients, nothing. That's great. You don't need help with anything. Then cool. You should be making $1 million a month. Sales, new clients. So it's mostly acquisition. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to be diving deep on that today. So like I already mentioned, if your main challenge is acquisition, okay, cool. Yeah. So you said except working 40 hours a week. So streamlining operations, not enough time, client acquisition, streamline delivery, locking in an offer. Okay, cool. So all of these things are intertwined, like I've already mentioned. If you don't have a good offer, acquisition is going to be difficult. If you don't have a good offer, then delivery is going to be a nightmare, because you're going to be trying to fulfill way too much stuff for your clients, and you're not going to be able to have a streamlined, what I call a production line fulfillment system, where you can deliver the same thing over and over again for clients. Jeff, you said no confidence in getting results is a really, really big one. Perfect. We're gonna cover that. So, step one, pillar one. Let's talk about the offer and finding the sweet spot. So this is relevant for you if you've already got an offer and you're wanting to improve it, or you're in that state of analysis paralysis, and you're like, oh, I don't know if my niche is the right niche. I don't know if I'm offering the right stuff. I'm gonna give you ultimate clarity on exactly what you need to be doing to have confidence with your offer, not just your offer, but your deliverables as well. So the agency game has changed a lot since the early days when I first got started. I got started in 2018, when just selling the opportunity and the idea of social media marketing was a new enough of an opportunity that you weren't getting compared to other agencies. You were just convincing them that they should be spending money on social media in the first place. It was quite a wide open market. Basic ads worked for fulfillment. Basic ads worked for your own client acquisition. Wasn't much competition. It was generally pretty easy to land clients, and that's something that most people aren't honest about, that the landscape is definitely very different right now, but it can still be easy if your offer is structured in the right way. Now, a lot more niches are saturated. A lot of businesses are pitched all the time. They've heard it all before. If you're trying to scale with paid ads, ad costs are obviously higher, and there is this sense of commoditization where people are feeling like that their offers are being commoditized and compared to other agencies because you're selling something that is undifferentiated. So the biggest mistake that I see people making, if you're below 30 to 50K per month, I can just hear some background noise. Everyone just double check that you've got your mics off. But the biggest mistake that most people make in the early stages is thinking that you have to have some dramatic point of difference with your offer. You have to have some kind of crazy unique mechanism or some significant innovation that is going to be the reason that people decide to work with you, and that is not the case at all. If you are getting to 30 to 50K per month is not a big business whatsoever. The market is genuinely so huge that you don't, right now in the early stages of your business, you don't need to be thinking about creating some gigantic innovation or some significantly new thing. You just need to be modeling the fundamentals of what's already working very, very well. So don't reinvent the wheel. Don't try and come up with something that nobody else is doing. Just get good at analyzing what is already working in the market. Find a gap, improve on the existing offers that are out there in a proven market that's already working. And so, in the same way that you wouldn't open up a restaurant by just guessing the menu, you'd look at, where am I opening up a restaurant? What restaurants are already busy? Find the gap, fill it. It's the exact same thing with your agency. And so the three parts that we'll be covering for nailing your offer is the research phase, funnel hack the market. 2, find the sweet spot. So we want to find a validated market, but we want to find that sweet spot between a niche that's not too saturated. Running a business and scaling an agency is so much easier if you're avoiding competition. And so we're trying to find that sweet spot between a niche, an offer, and a client avatar that is established. It's obvious that it's working. We can see indisputable proof that there's already people making money in that industry, but it's not crazy oversaturated. If you are already in the 15, 20, 30K per month range and you've already got an established business, it's easier to compete in more saturated competitive niches. But if you're in the early stages trying to build a business from scratch, you don't want to be up against a lot of competition and much more sophisticated competitors. And this is where we can start looking into hyper niching, going with niches within niches, or maybe slightly changing the fulfillment mechanism that we're selling to that industry, selling Google ads or adding on an extra lead conversion mechanism that the market hasn't seen before. Then we're going to be looking at your distinction between your offer and your service. Your offer is just the sexy sales and marketing version of how you position the offer to the market. Your service is just the practical raw deliverables of how you get results. And so many people make the mistake of selling their service based on just the raw deliverables of their service, not the fundamentals of an offer. What you're pitching and what you're selling needs to be an offer, not just like a list of deliverables of your service. Deliverables doesn't sell. The benefits and the outcomes of your offer is what's going to get people across the line. So step one of the best things to do is, like, let's say you've already picked a general market. Like maybe you're looking in the real estate niche. You know, there's a lot of different sub niches within real estate. You can work with residential real estate professionals. You can work with buyers agents. You can work with, you know, real estate agents selling off the plan projects. You can work with property developers. Let's say you're working with finance brokers. You might be looking at auto finance. You might be looking at mortgage brokers. Let's say it's, you know, solar lead gen, or it's insurance agents, or it's home services. The first thing that you want to be doing is funnel hacking competition. And so searching for keywords in your, not just your local market, whether it's Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada, UK, look across markets and search for keywords that other agencies would be using in their paid ads, so that you can see the types of ads that they're running to call out that market and start funnel hacking them. Start looking at their landing pages. What are they saying in their ads? What's their offer? What's their risk reversal? So you can see what is already working out there in the market. If you're struggling to find good examples of you know, specific agencies running ads, one way that you can do is you can like reverse search YouTube as well, and you can also use ChatGPT. You can say like, find me 10 agencies that are servicing this industry that are actively running paid ads. Or if you go on YouTube and you search for like topics related to, you know, getting results in that niche, a lot of agencies, the founder will create content on how to get results in that industry, and you'll be able to find their agency and funnel hack them from there. So that's step one. Step two is picking apart the entire funnel. So let me just show you a quick example. So Maurice here from Icon Media, he's scaled to over 300K a month. He's an agency owner that I've worked with really closely, and like, you know, getting really granular and specific and looking at, you know, watching their ads, listening to their script, what's their offer, what's their promise, what do they have a guarantee, do they have a risk reversal. Then you can go into like see ad details. You can see the exact types of questions that they're asking in their lead forms, seeing how they're qualifying people, and then you can see the exact, you know, URL that they're sending traffic to after someone's completed a VSL. You can watch their VSL. You can, you know, do a bit of mystery shopping. You can reach out. You can pretend if you're a potential client if you want to, and see what their rough pricing is. And you can obviously just see directly what their pitch is and what their offer is. You don't need to guess about what's working whatsoever. Then, oops, one sec. Then analyze the data. So like I already mentioned, you know, look at what are they promising? Are they promising leads? Are they promising appointments? Are they promising, you know, something on a performance basis? That's really important. Like different niches will have different outcomes that are being promised that's resonating specifically with that industry. For example, you know, in the mortgage space, or in the insurance space, or in the solar niche, all of those niches mostly just want like a paper lead structure, and that comes into the deal structure. Different niches have different preferences of how they prefer to pay for marketing services, whether or not it's in a pay per lead model, whether or not it's in a high ticket model. So some people will charge like what Maurice is doing, like 30K paid in fulls for like 6-month contracts. That's something that I've done as well. Or just like a standard retainer offer. So you want to know what's the deal structure that's working, that's being pitched to that market. Which client avatar exactly are they calling out? And so this is probably one of the biggest things, is that most of the time, like when your offer will really start clicking, it's when you get much more specific and granular with which client avatar within that market you're truly serving. And so, you know, whether or not it's, you know, if you're targeting broadly home services, a lot of the guys that are scaling really quickly right now are getting way more hyper specific with which types of home service clients that they're working with. Are they working with driveway replacement businesses, or pool installation companies, or roofers, or land clearing, or tree services, and not just calling them out, either calling them out in terms of what stage of the business that they're at. Yeah, are they doing, you know, at least 500K in annual revenue? For me, our ideal client avatar was like owners of real estate agencies, not just individual real estate agents. So look at exactly who are they calling out, and what kind of qualifiers are they talking about. What common pain points are being addressed? And so look at the language and the scripting of competitors' ads and notice patterns and trends of what are the common pain points that people are actually addressing, because all our service is it's a solution to a common pressing pain point that our clients have. And so, for example, one of my clients that works with tree services or land clearing businesses, the pain point that they're calling out is the underutilization of expensive equipment that they've invested in and paid for. These businesses will spend, $250,000, $500K on forestry mulching machines and excavators, and they go into debt for it. And so they have a pain point of wanting to make sure that those assets are being utilized effectively. Then look at what format of ads are they running? Is it social proof heavy ads? Is it direct offer ads? Different formats of ads will work in different niches. And then what is their video sales letter structure? Again, between different industries and niches, there's nuances on versions of a typical video sales letter book or call funnel that work better. Some people don't go to a VSL first. Someone said, is the sound gone? Can you guys still hear me okay? Or is that just on your own, Kevin? Good here. Okay, sweet. In different niches, different versions of the VSL funnel will work better. Some people go straight to like a calendar page for a 15-minute booking link. Some people will go to a VSL page first with an application before giving someone the option to book in a call. Some people will go VSL page, then just straight to book in a call and no application. So you want to look for the patterns and trends of what are the best agencies doing in your niche, so you can model that version of the funnel format correctly, and then opt into the funnels. What follow-up do you get? Do you get text? Do you get emails? Do you get what links are included in those texts and emails? Do you get followed up with by an appointment setter? What is the entire sales process that's happening on the back end? So once you've kind of looked at all of this, you want to identify that sweet spot. You want to look at, okay, am I in a validated market? Is there already obvious proof that there's other people making money in this industry? A very big red flag if you're like considering working with a niche and you can't find any other agencies in the main markets, Australia, New Zealand, US, Canada, UK, and Europe, that you can't find anyone else that is actively running paid ads to acquire that specific type of business as a client. That's a red flag, because it means there's not enough of a market out there and there's not good evidence that people are making money with it. But we also don't want to be working with an industry that's too oversaturated. We want to be kind of finding that sweet spot in the middle. So the two ways to find that gap is to either sell to a new client avatar or sell something new. Option A is usually the best fit for most people, and looking at like finding a niche within a niche. So if like most people are in the real estate industry are working with individual real estate agents doing seller lead generation, then you might look at a sub niche within real estate, like helping property management companies find more landlord leads, or working with real estate like property developers doing land subdivisions and helping them generate buyer leads. Or again, if it was home services, work with one of those hyper niche industries in home services. Option B is to sell something new. And so I wouldn't like say move past that at all. The main like something new that most of the guys that I'm working with are doing right now is like AI enabled lead generation and AI content creation. So AI enabled lead generation is mostly just like what AI automation can we add on the back end of the service to convert more of the leads into appointments and save the client time from doing any manual lead nurturing, which is either like AI appointment setting chatbots or like outbound AI dialers. But then we can also incorporate AI into our service in terms of like the content creation and making creatives for the clients as well. And so as you've got more momentum with your offer, you can start introducing newer, more cutting edge mechanisms to improve the value of your service. So what I kind of already brought up that I really, really want to drive home is that your offer is not your service. This is like a super, super important distinction. Your offer is the sexy sales and marketing version of your offer. It's how you position the result and the dream outcome that you're selling. And this is like actually what makes prospects say yes. The service is purely just the back end practical raw deliverables of how you actually get your clients results, and it's the boring mechanics. You do not want to be selling your service based on the boring mechanics and just a list of deliverables of what you're doing for your clients on the back end. You only really have to bring that stuff up on sales calls if people are asking about it and you're speaking with a person that's more analytical or wants to understand the trenches of what's working in the background. But the way that we sell is from a very kind of high level, purely based on the outcomes. And so that's super, super important with how you're positioning your offer and how you communicate it in your ads, in your marketing assets, and on your sales calls as well. So if that's clicking at the moment, if that's kind of giving you some clarity and some insights on what you should be doing to kind of upgrade and validate your offer right now, biggest takeaway is like, don't reinvent the wheel. Don't second guess your offer if you're already seeing evidence of what is working out there in the market. Never like copy other agencies and offers directly, only iterate and improve on it, and just use the information that's publicly available for you to validate what's already working. Next, we're going to be diving into delivery. Let's jump into it. So the death loop that most agencies get stuck in when their delivery is not dialed in is you sign a client, you get average results. Obviously, a client eventually leaves. You don't get any case studies or quality social proof from your clients. Then that makes sales more difficult going forward, because when a client asks to speak to any of your previous clients, you can't tell them to talk to anyone, and you've got no proof to show that you can actually get results. Like, obviously, the more social proof that you've got, the more trophies that you can showcase, the easier it becomes to sell, and the more authority that you have in your industry. And then your margins shrink because your customer acquisition cost goes up. It's more expensive to acquire a client, and your churn is higher, and so you're never benefiting from the compounding nature of your monthly recurring revenue stacking every single month. And so what your agency should look like is, when you bring in a client, you get exceptional results, you create a high quality case study, the next sale obviously becomes dramatically easier, your customer acquisition cost decreases, your margins increase. We can very comfortably be at like 60 to 70% profit margins, even when you've got a few team members in place. And then that allows you to reinvest back into systems, reinvest back into coaching or mentorship, or more team, or more paid ads, or content creation, or just more profit to pocket for yourself as the founder, and reinvest into literally whatever you want. So client retention genuinely changes everything. All of the money, like I said, that's made in this business model is in the long-term retention of your clients. And so where a lot of agencies get stuck in the early stages is just not keeping clients long enough. And so obviously, if you have a client that pays you $2K a month and they stay for 3 months, your customer lifetime value is only $6K, which is like okay, but it's pretty abysmal, and it could be worth way more. If you keep a client for 2 years, obviously that's like the extreme opposite end of the spectrum. But in my agency, like, once we fix all of this stuff, we genuinely have a very large batch of clients that have been with us for over 2 years, and they can be worth over $48,000 to your business. And so same client, same effort that had to happen to get that client into your business, if you keep them longer, they're worth dramatically more. It's way easier to keep clients than obviously get new ones. And here's just a real example of a single client that has paid us $61,000, almost $62K for the lifetime that they've been with us. If you do the math, you only need 20 clients. Like 20 clients like that is $1.2 million. 40 clients like that is 2.4. So like, once you start having a fulfillment system and delivery really dialed in, and your retention skyrockets, it's so much easier to, like, you don't need to be on a acquisition hamster wheel. You don't need to be signing a shitload of clients every single month, because you've got this strong base of clients that are just on a retainer and paying you month after month. So a real example that I wanted to break down with you live on the call today, one of my clients that I've been working with recently, one-on-one in the mastermind, recently had a client that was worth 12.5K USD for him, a single client in a month. So it's a remodeling client, and this is like a message just from only a couple of weeks ago. So it's super relevant and recent. It's a home remodeling business. The client is on a 5K a month base retainer. The agency owners scaled them up to be spending roughly 30K a month in ad spend. This is just like an example of, a bigger whale client, of how much you can earn when you've got these bigger clients that come through in your industry. And I want to kind of reveal how simple the fulfillment is on the back end for managing a client like this. And the biggest takeaway is that it's like, in terms of the complexity and the strategy that goes into managing a bigger client, is no different than managing a client that you're charging $1,500 a month. It's just like more volume of the same stuff. It's just more ad spend, more volume of creatives, but it's the same back-end lead nurturing systems that you're doing on the back end. So he's managing about 30K a month in ad spend. Then he did a 1% performance fee if the client acquires 500K a month in project value. So they're selling like kitchen and bathroom remodeling projects, and they have like an existing sales team. So they're not having to manage the appointment setting or the sales for the client. They're literally just generating the leads, nurturing the leads, handing off high quality prospects to their sales team. And last month, that client, for him, got an extra $750,000 worth of projects. So if you do the math on that, 1% of that is 7.5k. So his retainer turned into $12,500. For us Aussies, that's $17,750 from a single client. And so, some of you on the call right now are probably like, still questioning, how do I get to 10k a month? There's guys out here, almost making 20k a month in Australian dollars just off the back of a single client. So let me just pull up the ads library so you can see just some examples of what they're doing, and it's not rocket science. So all of the ads that they're running are for just like kitchen and bathroom remodeling. Some still image creatives, some are like
A full kitchen remodel.
are just like AI generated hooks, and they're all like B-roll voiceover creatives. And so these are like really easy formats of ads to make, where you can either just like repurpose B-roll content that you find yourself on like CapCut or social media that's ambiguous enough to use in the ads, or you get the client's custom content, and then you use like 11 Labs to create the AI voiceovers, and then you just pay an editor, $30 to $40 to stitch it all together, or you can do it yourself. And they're running a high volume of creators because they're at decent level of spend, but it's still only 21 ads. And these are really, really simple to put together, and it's all just repetition of the exact same ad formats. And then what they're doing on the back end is they're using an AI appointment setting chatbot. I've helped them build out an AI agent in AppointWise that follows up with all the leads and schedules them in for consultations. So they're just asking basic qualification questions. Are you a San Diego homeowner? Yes, no. What are you looking for? This type of stuff, and then redirect them immediately to a super simple calendar scheduling page. It's not rocket science. This is a Go High Level integrated calendar, Google reviews, super basic. And that exact system, what you can just see right there, produce that result of getting $750k worth of projects acquired and earning $12,500 from a single client. And so the service is not rocket science at all. It's just basic Facebook lead form, lead gen ads, basic landing page, AI appointment setting chatbot on the back end, following up with leads to book in appointments, and that's it. It's like it's not rocket science at all. A lot of strategy, goes into making good ads and running ads at that level of scale, but it's not like there's some crazy systems or strategies behind the curtain that would hold you back from replicating that or doing that for any other business. So a strategy that I installed into my own business is like what I call the production line fulfillment method, which is really just modeling the production line strategy that kind of Henry Ford developed when he invented the first factories and reduced the time to make the first cars from something like 20 something hours to only 2 hours. And all a production line is just like specialized activities, like where you've got one person just like doing one element of the task in your fulfillment, and then doing tasks parallel to each other as well. And implied with that is that you have to have a service where there's duplicatable marketing assets and you're servicing the same client avatar over and over again. And so for someone like that example that I just showed you, he can repeat that exact same strategy over and over again for any kitchen bathroom remodeling company all over the world. Same ad creatives, same scripts, same ad copy templates, same landing page, same template for the AI agent. With me, I exclusively work with real estate professionals doing seller lead generation, and we reuse the same ad templates over and over again, built to Go High Level snapshot that had all of the same automations on the back end, and that allows us to have a huge amount of leverage, dramatically increase our client capacity with a smaller team, but also have more predictable client results because you're not rebuilding anything from scratch over and over again. And so you need to stop treating every client like a custom project and work towards having that kind of streamlined approach of delivering the same result for the same client over and over again, because the more iterations that you do of the same task and the same process, the better it becomes, and your service delivery becomes better. by default. And if you're, delivering the same strategy for a higher volume of clients, you learn at a much faster pace what is and isn't working because you've got more scale of results for the same types of clients. Whereas if it's scattered all over the place, obviously you're moving very slowly in a lot of different directions. The next strategy that we installed into our delivery, which helped us improve our client results a lot, is installing this framework of activation points, where in your fulfillment, in your delivery, you design and plan out very clear kind of like checkpoints and milestones that your clients should be achieving, and you treat it like a chronological order of checkpoints that people have to pass through in order to get to the end result. So if your end result for a real estate professional is getting them their first 3 listings acquired through their system, then there's a lot of things that need to happen before that in order to achieve that outcome. Step 1 is going to be getting your first batch of 10 to 15 leads within KPI. The very first checkpoint is going to be get onboarded and get a quick win. So we might onboard them, and then within the first couple of days, we might launch a reactivation campaign with their existing leads and get them some quick wins and appointments booked. Then we want to have campaigns live within 5 to 7 days. Then we want to get your first 10 to 15 batch of leads within KPI. Then we want to get their first X amount of appointments booked. Then we want to get their first listing across the line. And so a lot of people have this kind of just they don't really have a strategy or have an approach. It's just broadly, we're running ads, we're delivering the service, but there's no kind of order of execution. And that means you don't have any prioritization of what is the next milestone that you're trying to get people to. So think about that, kind of go away and plan, okay, if I broke down my fulfillment into kind of clear checkpoints to achieve the end goal, what would that look like? And that makes it a lot more clear and streamlined for yourself and your team to fulfill your service. And so this ends up scaling really, really well, because then, if let's say you had 20 or 25 clients paying you a 2K per month retainer, you can easily have either just yourself with a VA, and then eventually as you scale further, just one core team member with a VA underneath them. For most lead gen clients, they can comfortably handle 30 to 40 clients. And that's how you can get delivery costs below 20 to 25% of your revenue and be super, super profitable as you scale. That's pretty straightforward. Next pillar is acquisition, which is what a lot of people want to get into. Martin said, is there going to be a recording of the session available? Yes, but it'll only be live for 24 hours because, we're covering a lot of stuff that would usually only be in my high-level mastermind, so it's not going to be available forever. But let's dive into acquisition, because we've got 20 minutes left before I want to jump into the Q&A. So the order of everything that we just ran through matters a lot. You need a good offer, you need to have good delivery, and then your acquisition benefits from the previous 2 steps being optimized and really dialed in. Most people do it backwards. They just think about, how do I get clients? And they kind of just ignore this stuff. And that's because this is the more difficult stuff, getting creative and crafting a really good offer, problem solving and troubleshooting, having a really good delivery. It's not easy. And so once you've really nailed that, then acquisition really, really starts to take off. But the 2 kind of phases of your acquisition, obviously phase 1, if you're in the early stages, you're going to either be doing manual outreach, a bit of organic content. You're going to want to have beta pricing with your offer to lower the barrier to entry, or you're going to do the fast track free trial strategy, and you're really just trying to get your first 3 to 5 clients in the door. This also applies, maybe, you're not in the beginning stages of your agency, but you're just testing a newer version of your offer. You're kind of still in this validation stage. Phase 2, when you're obviously scaling, you're going to use paid ads. You're going to have an automated video sales letter book a call funnel. You want to be charging your full rate, and the goal is to get to 30K plus per month in profit. There are cases where if you want to jump to running paid ads sooner rather than later, if you're doing the fast track free trial method, that 100% works. James, the example that I've alluded to, that just hit his first 50K a month in his agency, he started out doing paid ads to fast track free trials, and that allowed him to collect a lot of social proof really, really quickly. And so if you're in super early stages of your offer, I recommend doing a version of that strategy where you do a 7-day fast track free trial, you launch a light version of the service, you turn on paid ads for them, you spend 60 to 80% of what they would usually spend in a month within a week. It's performance only, and on the back of the trial, you attempt to close them as a full price paying client. That will happen. You'll get close to 40 to 50% of trials you should be able to convert into paid clients. But the main goal is to fast track creating a lot of social proof and farming testimonials to make it easier to run paid ads and improve your marketing assets. So the goal here is to just get results, not profit just yet. Then you farm that social proof. And so that is what allows you to put that into your ads, put it into your video sales letter, put it on your landing pages. That's what I did in the early stages. That's what I've helped a lot of people do. If you don't have much social proof, then you want to lower the barrier to entry for clients you're working with, just to get those in the door. And that's why the 7-day free trial makes it really, really easy, because you can get a case study and a result in a week, whereas most people wait months before they attempt to collect any social proof from a full paying client. So this is like the basic video sales letter funnel structure that we're running, in slight kind of iterations of this, that is responsible for scaling my agency to the 7-figure run rate, and all the other agencies that I've worked with, where we're running paid ads on Facebook and Instagram. We're usually doing either sending them directly to an opt-in page to collect name, phone number, and email, or we skip this step and go and do a lead form first, where we capture the lead and maybe ask 1 to 2 qualification questions on the Facebook lead form. Then on the confirmation page of the lead form, we say, but wait, final step, click the link here to schedule your intro call. Then that sends them to your video sales letter page, which has a booking link, or your booking portal for a 15-minute discovery call. We're not sending them straight to sales calls. We're sending them to a 15-minute discovery/intro call, just to screen them out and see if they're a good fit for our offer, and so that you don't waste any of your time selling to someone that was never going to close in the first place. And then you obviously book them in for the sales call from there. Then you have a thank you page that everyone gets. Just getting some feedback. Make sure that your audio is off. Then you redirect them to a 2 to 3 minute thank you page video, which just sets expectations for the call. And then with like more advanced strategies, we're adding in like additional content on that thank you page with what's called a breakout video, where you pre-handle objections and you answer FAQs. And prior to the when you eventually book them in for the sales call, we send a lot of texts and emails to remind them to watch that pre-call marketing asset, which nurtures them and warms them up for the call. Once this is all working and you've got paid ads live and you've got a decent amount of leads coming through, and you're starting to get spread thin with following up with leads and taking sales calls and everything else, then we can plug in an appointment setter to take all of those intro calls for you, and to follow up with all of the leads that didn't book themselves in for an intro call. And that dramatically improves the profitability and the efficiency of the entire funnel. And it's very easy to find appointment setters that are even part-time, that are just working 2 to 3 hours a day on like a very low hourly rate, and then performance bonuses like 4% commission on cash collected of the initial deal, and like a $200 to $300 weekly resetting bonus based on the minimum KPI of bookings per week being achieved, like 10 to 15 calls booked per week or something like that. So some examples of some funnels that are working live right now. Let me just pull up. So this is like my funnel that I've ran for a very long time. Super, super simple. Just video sales letter page, 9-minute video, headline, some text about giving context to the application, who it's for, who it's not for, a bit about us, a wall of social proof with video testimonials, social proof screenshots, and then FAQs, and then redirect to a booking page. Super, super simple. Not rocket science at all. James, who recently hit his first 50K cash collected month, he's running 3 creators right now, all like this is not what he ran to get his agency off the ground, but this is what's working really well for him right now, is like nicely edited in-person interviews with his clients, which is probably some of the best performing ads that I'm seeing working right now in a lot of different niches. Obviously, this takes a lot more effort to recreate, but if you can obviously get client results to the point where you can go out there and do an in-person interview, that absolutely crushes, and it just creates so much trust, so much authority. And a lot of the guys that I'm working with will kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, where they'll go travel to meet up with a client in person. They'll pay for the videographer to shoot the content, and a videographer will film a quick interview for them, but they'll also film some B-roll and content for the client that you'll be using to repurpose into their ads as well, as kind of a thank you to the client as well. And the funnel structure that James is running is just like a subtle variation of what I just showed you, where he's doing lead form first, asking some basic questions like, what type of trade service business are you? What's your current revenue that you're doing per month? And then, important final step, due to high demand, we're not able to provide everyone who signs up with a free strategy consultation. To guarantee your spot, please use the link below. and then on confirmation, redirect to a basic booking page. Simple VSL. Like, this funnel isn't pretty. It could be improved a lot more, but this is getting him clients for like $250 to $300 customer acquisition cost, and is at like a 9 to 10x return on ad spend. And it's so simple. And then they book in for the 15-minute consultation, and then they get qualified from there. I've got other examples, but you get the gist, and I want to keep pushing through this so that we finish up on time. And so, just to kind of really drive this home, like the power of how effective paid ads is for acquisition. These are a few examples of just like real clients of mine that have paid me in my agency. We've got like a $17,000 client, $17,700, $28,000, almost $21,000, $57,000. This is just 5 clients that collectively has paid around $141,000. And all of those clients came in from the exact same acquisition strategy that I just showed you for about $500. Some of the guys that I'm working with right now are getting clients for, like I said, like $250 to $300, which is insane. And so we're getting sales calls showed for like $111, and the return on ad spend based on revenue, so like the minimum contract value, is about like a 14.45x, and on cash collected, it's about like an 8 to 9x. So this is like an example month of mine of only about $3,400 in ad spend. We cash collected $27,000 from only $3,500 in ad spend, which is insane. It's like, where else can you get that type of return? But the true ROAS on that isn't just in that, like, that was just the cash flow within the month. The true ROAS based on like the long tail earning from those clients was actually a 56x return on ad spend. Like, genuinely, out of everything that I've ever put money into in my entire life, like, nothing has returned a better return on money than ad spend to sell my own product. It's insane. And so this is why I love the game of entrepreneurship, because like, literally, where else can you get those returns without insane risk, without putting a 10x leverage trade on crypto, or I don't know, doing anything else? Like, when you run a business, you can manufacture returns like this just by deciding to work harder and smarter. Like, it's completely within our control. So paid ads is by far the fastest way to scale. Obviously, outreach and content, you have to scale human effort, which is unpredictable and time consuming. Paid ads, you click 2 buttons and just spend more. If you're wanting to get double the leads and double the calls booked tomorrow, once you've got your paid ads working at a small scale, you just open up Ads Manager, click a button, spend twice as much, and you double the acquisition of your business. And like I've already mentioned, I scaled from 25K a month to 87K a month in 3 months because of paid ads. And it's once I discovered this and got it working, I never did anything else to scale my business. So what makes paid ads actually work is the creatives. So people like overcomplicate media buying and funnel structures and think it's all these other things other than just the ad. Like, you can have a horrible funnel, you can have a very average sales process, but if you have good ads and good creatives that are promoting a good offer, then you'll get high quality leads coming through that want to work with you. That'll be easy to book in sales calls and easy to close. And so 80% of what makes this acquisition engine work is your creatives, which is obviously just the images, the videos, and the copy. 18% of what makes the system work is your lead conversion asset, which is the landing page, the content on the lead form, the copywriting, and the production that goes into your video sales letter. And then it's genuinely 2% audience structure, campaign structure, like media buying tactics of how you set up the campaign. Meta has gotten to the point where the AI is so good at optimizing your audiences that you don't need to be a media buying wizard to make these campaigns work. If you've got good creatives, the campaigns are going to optimize themselves. Yes, there's best practices and things that you have to do correctly, but literally 80% of it is in your creative. And so what actually is a creative? It's not just a video or image. It's far from it. It's it's a distillation of meticulously crafted ideas and messages. Everything is intentional. Like, the biggest mistake and disadvantage that I see most people making when they're building paid ads to get clients for their agency is just like genuine lack of attention to detail, and not like analyzing competitor creatives like a scientist and picking apart every little detail of why it might be working. Your creatives train the algorithm to show your offer to the right people. So the AI has gotten to a point where it scans all of the content in your copy, it scans all of the dialogue in your video creatives. And so the language that you use in your ads needs to be very intentional to call out the client avatar that you want to be showing the ads to, because it will scan all of that and it will use that in its targeting. Like you can run ads and just do open targeting and it will work and find the right audience to show the ads to if your ads are good and have the correct language and who you're calling out. Your ads obviously increase intent dramatically and the conversion rate through your funnel. It's like if you have a low conversion rate through your funnel, the last thing you want to be doing is playing around with headlines in the funnel. The first thing you want to be doing is just changing your ads and changing your creatives. Your ads can position you as the premium option or the cheap one. And one winning ad can genuinely change the trajectory of your business. One winning ad can make you $250,000 in the next 12 months, just off the back of how many leads and calls that you book off the back of it. The number one reason that most people's ads suck is you just don't run enough ads. A lot of you probably aren't doing it right now, or you've done it a little bit, you've tested a small batch of creatives, or you're not testing enough ads on a consistent enough basis to really reap the rewards of it. Like an analogy that I like to use is think about if you walked into a bar, they had a competition where if you threw a dart and hit the bullseye, you won $10,000. You had as many options as you wanted to of how many darts you throw. Would you rather throw one dart or throw 100? It's like, that's genuinely the same thing with your ads. It costs, it's not free to make ads, but it's not cheap. It's not expensive at all. And it's just a matter of, a balance between volume of how many ads that you test and putting, strategy and intention into the ads that you create, because one winning ad can be you hitting a bullseye and your agency taking off. And so most of you don't test enough volume of ads and you just don't have a system in place. You launch it, you wait till they stop working, and then you make new ads. And the loss of momentum from when paid ads stops working, from when you actually end up reviving them, can cost you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. It can take like a full month. Like as you saw, 5 clients can be worth 140K. And so if you have like a single month where your momentum has slowed and your ads have stopped working and you end up turning them off, like 1 month can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over the lifetime that you're running your agency. And so instead, you need to have a minimum non-negotiable requirement of producing new ads, even when you don't need them. So I would say at least like 10 to 15 per month, minimum, depending on your scale. And what a lot of people do is they just kind of like kill 2 birds with 1 stone and kind of double your creatives as like organic pieces of content as well. And you just like use these in the meantime as organic posts without like the call to action on the end of the ad. And then your winning organic creatives, you then just like repurpose and re-edit and add a call to action on the end of it. And those can be your ads as well. So there's like a hierarchy of variables that contribute to making your paid ads working. It starts with your offer, then it's the messaging that's baked into your creative, then it's the actual creative itself. So your offer is obviously the outcome that you're promising, the guarantee, the risk reversal, which client avatar that you're calling out. The messaging is like whether or not you're doing a direct offer, a value-based ad, more of like an indirect pitch, where maybe you're talking about results, maybe you're injecting more FOMO and fear, maybe you're agitating a specific pain point, maybe you're doing a positive angle and really selling the dream outcome. Then the creative is looking at, are you doing still images, videos, the editing style, the scripting, the setting in the environment, where are you filming the ad, and the hooks. And so strategy number 1 is to validate your offer with still images if you're in the early stages of paid ads. So like the first versions of ads that I ran were memes like this and they did not work at all. Then the next versions of ads that I ran were like these basic still image creatives, just kind of calling out the offer or showcasing like the dream outcome of our client avatar, which is them receiving new listing opportunities. Those ads worked really, really well in the early stages of my agency. Some other still image examples are like this, kind of just calling out different clients within home services, having a very clear offer, 2 to 4 jobs worth 10 to 30K, guaranteed in 90 days, very clear call to action, relevant background image. And you can see here the difference between results just from, niche to niche. It's like roofers didn't get any leads. Concrete has got 16 leads at $8.10. This got 24 leads. This only got 3. And so just from niche to niche, calling out a different client avatar can yield dramatically different results. And so you want to iterate on the offer variations. For painters, you could say get 30 high value quotes in 60 days guaranteed, or you could say get 30 high value quotes in 60 days guaranteed, or you don't pay, or you could say 100K worth of residential repaints guaranteed, or you could say 150K new jobs. Like just chop and change the way that you're referring to it. We're short on time, so I want to rush through this. Here's some more still examples of just like different still images in other niches. You can do formats like this where it's a screenshot of just text on a Google Notes app. You can do this style, which is more like looking like a news article. This is just like very straight to the point, kind of Canva style creative. All of these work quite well. Then once you kind of validated with still images, video ads is what you want to be making, and that works a lot better. We've kind of already talked about funnel hacking, so we don't need to spend too much time on that. Last kind of direct strategy and hack is this is a script writing framework that I use for a lot of my video creatives, which is hook, authority / credibility, problem and root cause, agitate with failed solutions, validate their skepticism, show them a solution and a unique mechanism, introduce a testimonial or a piece of social proof, and then give them a soft CTA and a risk reversal. And let me just show you a quick example of that script, because obviously just rushing through that framework probably doesn't make a bunch of sense. So for my offer, like the hook would be real estate agents. Do you want 3 to 5 new listings a month without cold calls or door knocking? Authority and credibility would be, I'm Liam from Reliable Leads. We've helped over 100 agents across Australia and New Zealand. Clients have added multi-6 figures in GCI using this system. Problem root cause, your pipeline isn't consistent because the system is broken. Too much reliance on referrals, too much manual prospecting, messy follow-up, good opportunities leak out of the funnel. Agitate with failed solutions. You've tried cheap lead vendors, boosted posts, and patchwork CRMs. You spend hours chasing time wasters, busy all day, nothing predictable to show for it. Validate skepticism. You should be skeptical. Most lead gen companies stop after sending contact details, no structured sales process, no lead nurturing, and no responsibility. Solution, we fixed the whole flow with the listing accelerator system. Targeted seller ads bring in homeowners ready to talk now. Every lead drops into a clean CRM with clear stages and automated follow-up. Our AI appointment setting chatbot nurtures conversations, answers questions, and filters tire kickers, so you only speak with real sellers. And then lastly, we send a digital listing presentation to every appraisal inquiry to position you as the authority figure before the call. You start getting new seller notifications within 7 days. Then drop a social proof statement and then a soft CTA. Check your postcode at the link to, and get a custom plan. If you aren't profitable in 90 days, you don't pay. We only take on 1 client per postcode, and this intake closes in 2 weeks. So that you can kind of like repeat that exact format of a script with those main headings and just kind of iterate on all those different variables, and you can get a lot of different scripts out of that. Okay, cool. So we've covered your offer, how to reverse engineer a winning offer and niche with 0 guesswork. We've covered delivery, touched on the production line fulfillment method, gave a specific example of a very high level client fulfillment strategy that's working for a whale client. We covered the acquisition model that's working right now, how to do fast track free trials to get social proof in the early stages, and then the basics of how to structure a video sales letter call funnel for scale. So if right now, like I mentioned, I'd be giving an opportunity just to have a quick chat with myself and our team if you're wanting more help to scale your agency and just install all this for you. Not going to spend too much time on this. Just going to quickly run through the basic details of it. But if you're interested in hearing that, just type yes in the chat below. Rachel, Zach, Anthony. Awesome, guys. Cool. So obviously at this point you've got 2 options. You can just continue building alone, go at your own pace, which is completely fine. I've got a shitload of content in the community and the book and everything like that to make serious progress with your agency, and I built that for a reason so that I can put my best foot forward and you make money and get results without having to spend any money on high ticket programs or anything like that. But option 2, obviously there's genuinely nothing that replaces having an experienced high level operator hold your hand, helping you implement everything along the way to just shortcut your path to getting to 30 to 50K per month profit in your agency. Personally, I've spent like easily $250,000 on my own education to scale my own business, and I've chosen this second option all the way through in my business just to shortcut my path. I never would have gotten here without help from others, which is why for the past 2 to 3 years I've been hosting the Millionaire Marketer Mastermind, which all the results that I've shown you from other agency owners that I'm working with, they're clients of mine in this mastermind. And so I'm just going to run through basic details so you know what's in it. There's no hard pitch at all. Not like booking in a call with us is not a hard close whatsoever. Like even if you're just considering it and just wanted to know, the full details of it, just booking a call to have a chat with us, and we kind of give you a bit of a peek behind the curtain of what the more advanced things that we're doing with other agency owners as well. But in a nutshell, it's an intimate mentorship experience for agency owners ready to scale to 30 to 50K per month in profit. It's produced a shitload of results, 100 plus multi-six-figure agencies, over 10 seven-figure agencies. I've already ran you through a bunch of the examples. People like Nathan have gone to 0 to 120K a month. James just hit his first 50K profit month. Aaron got to 73K in 4 months. What we're doing works extremely, extremely well, and we've done it time and time again right now in the current landscape. How the model works is we do a personalized sprint model for you. So we kick off working together with a one-on-one call with me. I have like an in-depth onboarding worksheet that I get you to fill out. We identify your number one constraint, and then I build you a personalized 30-day sprint focused on and a focused action plan based on your situation. Then we're working together to execute on that plan. So everything's like really, really personalized. You get a dedicated account manager and accountability manager that you have calls with every 2 weeks that is working with you on implementing this 30-day sprint. We've got 2 weekly mastermind calls with me, and you get 8 one-on-one calls with me throughout the year as well. This is not like just a course at all with like 47 modules that you'll never finish. It's genuinely a focused plan built around your personal bottlenecks, with someone making sure that you execute all along the way, plus my expert guidance. And then we repeat this kind of format of these 30-day sprints, focus on unlocking one bottleneck at a time. So we complete the sprint, identify the next constraint, build the next sprint, and keep improving and iterating. Whether or not your current bottleneck is acquisition, whether or not it's fulfillment, whether or not it's sales, whether or not it's revamping your offer or anything like that, these are all problems that we've already solved. And so the support you get access to, you get 8 one-on-one calls with me throughout the year. So it's like 2 calls a quarter. You get direct access, obviously, to me. You can talk to me in school whenever you want. You've got priority support in our mastermind community to ask me questions whenever you want. You get an accountability manager to have calls with you every 2 weeks. They're going to check in with you multiple times a week. So many people I know just need accountability and know that someone is in their corner making sure that they're actually getting shit done and getting the work done. Their entire job is to make sure that you execute. So you're going to have that person in your corner. And then the mastermind, you're obviously getting access to a high value network of other agencies that are a few or many steps ahead of you. 2 weekly mastermind calls, private community, high value network of partnerships and referrals, and a lot of like genuine friendships are formed in our community as well. Like someone sent me a video just the other day of them like meeting up with one of the guys in our mastermind, and they were like in Colombia and traveling and getting drunk together, and it was really, really funny. But I've made so many friendships with a lot of the people in the community as well. And so it's a really cool community to be a part of. You get access to the agency archive, which is like all the content, the resources. You get like 40 plus modules on high level scaling strategies. Every system and process that I've ever built in my entire agency over the past 7 years, from fulfillment to sales to hiring to client results, SOPs. You get all of the tracking sheets that we use for managing our entire company internally. You're essentially licensing the intellectual property of a 7-figure agency in perpetuity. So if you want to see if it's a good fit for you, again, it's like not a high pressure sales call at all. Like we're just having a conversation. So if you want to see if it's a good fit for you, let me just drop a link in the chat now. Let me just pull that up. Ben is our head of student enrollments, and so he is in like European time zones. He's got like a lot of availability. I've just dropped the link in the chat now. So that's below. If you are struggling to find a time on the calendar, send him a message. Let me just pull up. So I've just dropped that link in the chat as well. It's like you guys know how to use Calendly. We've only got 5 spots as well for this intake, but if you are wanting to reach out to Ben, a few of these guys are probably trying to join the call. Actually, Ben, here he is. So Ben O'Reilly, I'll just drop the link in the chat as well. Yeah, if you're ever having any issues finding a time or booking a call, just reach out to Ben and he'll get you right and get you sorted. Okay, cool. And then an exclusive bonus that I just wanted to add as well for people that come in during this intake is we're going to do done for you copywriting for your VSL and ad creatives. So I'm going to be involved in that personally, and because of that, we're going to only be able to do it for a small batch. That's why this intake is limited. Someone's asking what's the cost. Obviously, we've got like a few different options. It's very, very affordable. We make it a range so that literally one client pays for itself. So booking the call to get the full details on the pricing, but we're doing this done for you copywriting for your VSL and ad creatives. So usually it's like 5 to 8 scripts for high converting video ads, and then your VSL, which is going to be like an 8 to 10 minute video. And this is just genuinely going to allow you to skip months of testing. Obviously, I already know what's working for agencies that are scaling ridiculously with their paid ads right now. I've problem solved it and done it for myself. I figured it out in literally every niche imaginable. So having me come in and personally help you with his copywriting is genuinely alone worth thousands. And if I was gonna do this as a one-off project, I would charge at least like 2 to 3K USD to build that out for someone, and we're throwing that in as a complete bonus. So and that's something that I'm just kind of testing right now, which is why I'm doing it for this intake, just to test doing that as a service and an add-on for the mastermind. The benchmark and the goal for some of you, if you qualify, we actually guarantee that we add 20K a month. We guarantee that we add 20K a month in monthly recurring revenue. I was just looking at your message, Talia. Not for everyone, depending on your stage, but if you're kind of already in the intermediate kind of early stages of your agency, doing around like 8 to 12K a month, we can guarantee adding 20K a month in monthly recurring revenue to your agency. Obviously, if you show up, do the work, follow the sprint plan, that's the target that we would be building towards together. And we've got a limited capacity, so we've only got 5 spots available for this intake. And it's not fake scarcity. Obviously, your accountability manager speaks to you every 2 weeks, checks in with you multiple times a week. They've obviously got a hard cap on how many agency owners they can manage with me as well. I want to keep the mastermind intimate so that I've got enough bandwidth to speak to everyone and there's not too many people on the weekly calls. And so once these spots are filled, we close the intake until capacity opens back up. So there's only 5 spots for this intake. If you're wondering if it's right for you, I've saw someone said, is this good for a newbie? If you're just starting out, there's a bunch of people that jump into the mastermind that are in the very early stages of running their agency. It's actually a better thing because you don't have any bad habits to unlearn, and we can just install the correct systems from day one so you can start scaling faster without the chaos. So it's definitely beginner friendly for beginners and like intermediate people that are already at 10 to 30K a month. If you've been bad before, like completely understand. Again, it's like not a high pressure sales call decision at all. You don't have to do it, but like most people running these types of programs haven't been in the agency space for 7 to 8 years and actually ran it themselves. They just moved on to coaching very, very quickly. Because they just wanted to make faster money. But I ran an agency as my full-time business for 5 to 7 years, and they've got very little infrastructure for like execution and accountability, and they just give you course content and say good luck. And if you're worried about the investment, like genuinely, if you follow the plan, the goal is for it to be free. Like you will be profitable like if you just sign like one or 2 clients, and then it's a ridiculous ROI from there on out. So who it's for: if agency owners wanting to scale fast to 30K a month profit, if you're willing to do the work and follow a proven system, if you're ready to invest into your growth. Obviously it's you. If it's not for you, if you just think it's going to be a get rich quick opportunity, obviously this is work. It takes time. Things don't happen overnight. If you're just like an information collector and you're just going to jump into the program, watch some videos and not engage in the community, definitely don't join. And if you are kind of arrogant, already think you know everything, and think that and aren't going to be coachable and open-minded to changing things or being challenged and executing on new stuff, then it's definitely not a good fit for you. That's all pretty straightforward. So if you're interested, just click that link below. It's in the chat. Let me just copy and paste it again so it's at the bottom of the chat. And even if you're not considering joining now, it would genuinely be a good idea for you just to know what the price is, know what the investment is, know what's included, so that you can plan ahead for it. There's just like a few simple questions when filling out the form, just so we've got a good idea of what where you're at in your current agency. And that's pretty much it. So let's dive into the Q&A session. I know we've gone like 15 minutes over the time slot, so I don't have another call directly after this, so I can stay on for a little bit longer so that we've got the full time block for the Q&A session. And then let me as well do the draw for the MacBook. So to form, like, just to organize the questions that everyone's got, just drop a Q, like just like the letter Q in the chat to like form the queue for the questions that everyone has, and we'll go through in that order. All right, sweet. Let me just unshare my screen. And then while we're going through and answering questions, I'm just going to export the list of everyone that registered and then plug it into ChatGPT to pick the winner for the webinar, for the MacBook, sorry. Okay, cool. So, Victoria, you're up first. You got in before the queue started dropping.
Yeah. Hi, Liam. Thanks for the call. It was really great and informative. I was just wondering with the fast track free trial, because obviously we're talking about spending like 70% of the monthly budget. I was just curious then if the client wants to continue, would then lowering the budget somehow like impact results, because we'd be going from, I don't know, say like 100 a day to like $20 per day, something like that.
Short answer, no. Like, that's not something you should be too concerned about. Like, the reason that we obviously do that in the early stages of the trial is just to kind of wow them with results and get them leads and appointments really quickly. Like, your ad spend should be projected based on like the minimum amount required to get them a decent enough ROI to justify doing the service. And depending on what their goals are, you can increase their budget accordingly. So for us, we worked out for the majority of real estate agents that most agents had about like a $700 to $800 cost per listing acquired. So our minimum ad spend requirement was like $1,200, just to hedge against that slightly. And so our minimum ad spend was $1,200. But if our target cost per listing acquired was $700 to $800, we're talking to a client that wants to be getting an extra 3 listings per month, then we would scale the budget in increments of that. So what does that work out to be? So like 800 times 3, it was like $2,400. So you just have to kind of look, like, get a rough projection based on the clients that you're working with of like, okay, what's their goals? How many clients do they want to be acquiring per month? Roughly what should I expect it to be for customer acquisition costs? And then, because a lot of people will not be ready to spend the full budget of what they actually need to you know what I mean, to get the results that they want.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much for that. Makes perfect sense.
Okay, easy. Anthony, how's everything going on your end, man? How can I help?
Liam, what's going on, brother? Want to say thank you for your time, first of all, and the lesson that you kind of went through today. But I want to just quickly ask you, so I'm hearing a little reverb, so I don't know if you can hear me all right.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay, perfect. So my question is, I know we should be focusing on one specific like avatar. The problem is, I mean, it's not a problem, but I'm kind of curious to see what you think about it. I've worked across a few different industries, and I've been able to rack up some really good case studies, like across different industries. And I'm wondering if I should even post about some of the other industries. Like, we're mainly in home services, but for example, recently I worked with a med spa that had just opened up. Now they already have 2 new locations, and we're scheduling like 120 appointments a month for them. And I'm wondering if I should even post it, or is that gonna like dilute our messaging a little bit?
Where would you be posting it?
Like social media.
No. I think like organically sharing content for social proof isn't going to cloud your messaging, because like where you want to be much more intentional with cherry picking which social proof that you use is mostly just in your paid ads. Like, obviously, if like, what was an example of one of the types of clients again?
It's mostly I work with home services, but I have some med spa clients that started coming in now after working with this one, and I'm just wondering if on social media I should post it or if I should just keep it like on the back burner.
No, like, post it on social media. That's not going to do any harm. But you like the main, like we talked about, the main mechanism that's actually going to contribute to signing clients is paid ads. And so when you're curating paid ads, if you were like, I wouldn't be using a med spa case study in an ad that's a
For
curated
sure.
offer calling out home service businesses. You'd use obviously the social proof in the case study related to home service businesses. If you're going to be running paid ads calling out med spas, then use the med spa case study. So yeah, it's like you don't need to overthink just sharing that content on your organic socials. It's probably not going to get that much reach anyway. It's like doesn't hurt when someone lands on your accounts, but obviously have that congruency with your paid ads, with the offer, the messaging, and then the social proof that you use. Because like even within home services, if you are running an ad calling out kitchen and bathroom remodeling companies, but then you pop up a testimonial from a painting business, like even that is worse than obviously just just having a testimonial from another remodeling business.
Gotcha. And do you think it's a good idea if you already have the systems built out for two? I mean, they're completely separate industries, for example. Do you think it would be a good idea to go run ads in both different industries at the same time, or that you think is just going to become an operational nightmare?
I would start with one at a time. They're both good. That like if you're just like in the early stages of testing and you just want to do like a quick kind of validation sprint and test to see which one is obviously getting cheaper cost per leads, then sure you could launch 2 campaigns at once. But if you've already like pretty entrenched in one industry, then I would like give home services a good crack and just start there. Like it doesn't take that long to launch a new offer from scratch and just like test some paid ads. You don't need to have like a full funnel built out. You can just go straight to lead form and a basic calendar booking page. So long term, I would not scale in those two industries, but it's completely fine to just like run multiple campaigns at once purely for validation of the market.
Gotcha. All right. Thank you, Liam. I appreciate it.
Easy. No worries. Who was up next? Not sure how to pronounce your name, brother. Odin Anyu?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man. What's your question? How can I help?
Yeah, so I think you already answered, but just to be sure, I wanted to know if I'm just starting up, um, is it okay to do without the whole AI automation qualification as part of your funnel as a startup? Somewhere that's just starting up.
Yeah.
Can you just do
Yeah.
like an ad, lead form, and then sales rep qualification
Absolutely,
type
yeah.
funnel?
I mean, like once you built it out, it's pretty simple to replicate and install for clients. So yeah, like I would 100% implement it in the early stages of your offer. It's not rocket science to set up. There's no reason I wouldn't start doing it in the early stages.
All right, thank you. That's it.
Cool. Also, Sebastian, are you live? Are you still live on the call? I just plugged your name into the my like name picker, and you got selected for the MacBook Air. So if you're still live on the call, just comment below in the post.
So what does he say about those surgeries? How many surgeries of this kind does he do?
Sebastian, are you live on the call?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, cool, man. Awesome, man. Just message me after the call, and I'll get your details and ship it and send it over to you. Cool. Blake, you're up next. How can I help, man?
Yeah, so hold on. Yeah, so with the paid ads, if you were just looking to experiment paid ads, how much would you put behind your ads?
How much do you spend on your own ads for paid ads client acquisition?
Yeah, so like I've never done paid ads for everything comes through organic at the moment, and it would be looking to trial with paid ads.
$1,500.
What would you put behind it? Over a month?
Yeah, $50 a day.
Okay.
Yeah, like, what's the average retainer that you're selling
8K AUD.
per month?
Yeah.
Okay. If it's a more expensive retainer, and what niche are you selling to?
Personal branding.
Okay. If it's is that your cheapest offer?
Our cheapest offer is a consultation, which is a one-off fee.
Okay. So obviously, because an 8K a month retainer is a lot more in the higher end range. When it offers more expensive, obviously there's a smaller pool of potential clients for it, which means you're going to have to have more throughput in your funnel before you're going to get a positive feedback loop on seeing if it works or not. And so usually people like I base that $1,500 per month range on like the price of one sale of an average price retainer at $1,500 a month, so that you at least liquidate ad spend. For a more expensive retainer like that, you'd probably be wanting to think about at least like 3 to 4K to give it a good run. But if you've got something cheaper that you can sell to unqualified prospects to liquidate some ad spend, then that can counteract that. But that would take a bit more ad spend and a bit longer to optimize if you're trying to acquire those higher end people.
Yeah, well, I did the meta ads, and there's can't really find any ads for the niche. So that kind of was going to lead me to thinking that done for you side is probably not going to perform.
What types of people are you doing personal branding for?
Business owners, founders, you.
Have you seen any of like Daniel Isles' content or ads?
Daniel, I've never heard of him.
Look up Daniel Isles. I'll just drop his name in the chat. He's done like $5 million a month with a personal branding and content offer. He charges like $30K USD, and places like a content strategist in your business, and does all of your content ideas and editing and posting and repurposing and everything like that. He would probably be like one of the best examples to look at in terms of offer framing and everything like that. So I'd check him out, and that would be a good example for your ads and offer.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Easy, man. No worries. Also as well, I thought I would just drop if you guys, because I know that like a lot of you guys are in Australia as well, if you're struggling to find any time on Ben's calendar and you want to book in a call directly with me today, let me see if I've got any time on my calendar. I've only got like a couple slots. Let me move something around in my calendar, one sec. Okay, I've got like 3 slots. If any of you are like interested in the mastermind and wanting to have a chat directly with me, click on that link and you can open up my personal calendar. But yeah, there'd probably only be like 2 or 3 slots. But I thought I'd just add that there. Okay, Andre, you're up next. How can I help, man?
Hey, Liam. Thanks for thanks for the call here today, man. Yeah, I'm one of the people in the on your Instagram telling people that $27 was too cheap for the book.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I love it. And I mean, it's helped me out a lot. So, I mean, the question that I have, so I mean, I set up a whole system over here, just like you outlined, and like how you outlined in the book, and kind of based on some other automations that I had already. So I'm just curious. So, I mean, I'm basically ready to go. Like I could onboard people probably this week, but I'm just kind of curious, like when you brought up the strategy, one of your clients or one of the people in the mastermind that you were working with, the strategy that they use of like a free week, and then they go from there for like for getting some case studies. So I'm kind of wondering, like, if you were to do that, if you were to fast track that with ads, which I kind of want to do because I'm just work a lot of hours. I work for this huge manufacturing company, and it's just really nuts. So if I can save time by just spending the money on the ads, I'm totally cool with that. But I'm just trying to understand, like, let's say that we bring them on and do that. Like, are they still so like for that first week, are they still doing the ad spend, right? And then the second part of the question is, like, would you still do like a full VSL funnel kind of strategy for that, like for getting the case studies, like your first 4 or 5 or whatever?
Yeah. So for the first part, what did you mean by are they still doing the ad spend?
Oh yeah, so I mean they're still spending on their ad spend, like we're managing their ad account or whatever, and like they're putting in their credit card still, like even though it's like a trial.
Usually what we do is we get it like on the sales call to sell someone into a trial. We're getting them to just prepay for the ad spend, and then we run the ads in our own ad account, but we get access to their page and Instagram account so that we can select their page and Instagram account as the identity of the ads, but we do that so that we run it through our own ad account and they can't just like take the intellectual property and the campaign that we built and run with it. And them prepaying for the ad spend is kind of like a bare minimum benchmark of them being bought in to actually doing the trial, because if you get someone to sign up for a trial, they haven't paid you anything, and then they agree to it before having spent any money, then they don't have any skin in the game, and they'll just mess you around and waste your time. So they prepay you that ad spend, and then on your end, if you should have a video sales letter on your funnel to collect applications for trials, I wouldn't do like a full high production, like super, like intensely thought out VSL script. I would just do like a really basic like Loom video on a Google Doc, just like a few dot points, just breaking down the context of the trial. In the rapid scaling stack, I give like a link to an example funnel of like what that video looks like and how to structure the content on that landing page.
Okay. Yeah. Great information, man. Thank you, Liam. I appreciate it, man.
No stress. Martin, you got a question, man? How can I help? Just got to unmute yourself. No, we'll come back to you, Martin. We'll keep it moving. DeWald, I'm probably butchering that. How can I help, man?
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right, sorry about that. I just had a question. You said to stick to one niche and one service. So if I stick to one niche, but I replicate that delivery system in a different country, like let's say I'm in the decking niche in Australia, but if I try to replicate that in the United States or in let's say a different country like Dubai, would it still have the exact same results? Or like obviously I would have to change a few things, right? So how would you go about replicating it?
Well, yeah, like I've done that with my offer in the real estate niche. When we did it, like plan A was just duplicate our campaign and just change the location targeting and just run it in the US and just see if it works or not. You'll have a higher chance of that working if you've got more volume of creatives in your existing campaign. What I notice is that what always happens is different ads work in different markets. It's never the exact same ads and creatives that end up being the winners between different countries. And so expect that to happen, and it might not work perfectly, and you might have to rework your creatives and do a bit more in-depth funnel hacking with other agencies in that market and how they're positioning their offers. So expect that you might have to do a creative revamp and a relaunch. But yeah, 100%. Like if you're sticking to one niche and you're just expanding into in a different market, then you're benefiting from obviously all the duplicatable marketing assets and everything that goes along with that. There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. Time zones can be a bit of an issue though. Obviously Australia, we're on the other side of the world, exact opposite time zones to a lot of those other countries. So getting calls booked with leads, getting calls booked with leads and like doing appointment setting follow-up can be tricky with people in different time zones, but you can make it work if you're doing it at small to medium scale. If you haven't touched New Zealand yet, I'd definitely do New Zealand as well.
Oh, got it. And with that said, like you said, obviously the results are going to change if I do it in Australia and then I do it in like let's say America. It's not going to be exactly the same results. So would you still offer the trial in that case, or would you just go directly to the sales?
Oh no, I'd go directly to sales. If you've already got results and case studies in Australia from a client fulfillment standpoint, it's like there's not. Yeah, like you can directly sell people into your service if you've already got case studies. Like there's not. It's the same with, like, for me in real estate, all of the strategies that get clients results are market agnostic. It's like, at the end of the day, homeowners, when they're thinking of selling, like that, homeowners only have two core fundamental motivations. They want to know what their house is worth, and they want to sell their property for as quickly as possible and as much as possible when it does come time to sell. And so all of the ads that we run kind of follow those underlying principles. And there's only subtle nuances of the strategy that changes. So yeah, you don't need to go back to free trials if you're entering into a new market with a proven offer in a different market.
Okay, got it. No worries. Thank you.
Easy, no worries. All right, who is up next? DeWald? Just unmute yourself. How can I help, man? I can see it unmuted, but I can't hear you. double check which microphone you've got connected.
Yeah, sorry, is that Ben?
Yeah, that's working now.
Yeah, sorry, mate. I actually thought, my answer's already, my question's already been. Maybe reach out.
Okay, you're all good.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, easy, man. No stress. Andrew, you're up next. Andrew, you still on the call? Doesn't look like it. Hans? No? Israel?
Hi, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome, thank you very much for the information. I'm from
worries,
the
man.
UK, and
Thanks
I
for
wanted
joining.
to
How can I
find
help?
out what your thoughts were regarding helping to consult a legal company, and a lot of the searches are more based on Google Ads, direct searches. So I wanted to find out what your thoughts were with regards to Facebook. Um, I know
Your
doing
audio is
some.
cutting out a fair bit.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Like every second word was just like really quiet.
Is this any better?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I think it's my AirPods. So I was just saying, I think I recall you mentioning that you did some consulting with or ads for some legal services companies, like law
Yep.
companies. So I'm doing some work with one in particular, and the ads are currently being run from Google Ads just because that's where more direct searches are going on. I wanted to see whether it was worthwhile or you had success running ads on Facebook. And then also, was it more efficient or successful running the ads to a landing page or to an actual website? Yeah.
Most people do landing pages. I'm not an expert in like legal lead gen. I've like done a bit of it, and I'm friends with and I work closely with one guy in particular that has 100K a month agency in the legal niche. What I know is like super important in that industry is like specializing. Obviously, there's so many different fields of law. Like some sub niches are much easier to get results in than others, and there's a lot of nuance to it. And so specializing in one particular angle, like my friend that has scaled up a lot, he specializes in working with law firms in the UAE that help businesses set up their company structures in the UAE. And obviously, because of all of the incentives that they have for saving on tax, there's a lot of existing international demand for people wanting to use those services, and then creating an offer and a funnel and ads around that becomes relatively easy and straightforward because there's already a good offer and opportunity that exists, and it's less competitive than a lot of other sub niches that most people do in legal, like personal injury and things like that. So it's like that's a very like nuanced thing to go down the rabbit hole of kind of figuring out what the best thing to do would be for that. But short answer is like yes, Facebook ads work, and if you haven't done it yet, there's no harm in just testing it. And do it on a small budget. I would be doing first lead forms, and then once you've kind of gotten a sustainable cost per lead, then move over to a landing page. Lead forms are a lower barrier to entry, and like always have a cheaper cost per lead because it keeps people on the platform. It autofills their information. So if you're in the early stages of testing any strategy, it's always best to start with lead forms. Once you've gotten creatives that are working, then go to a landing page where you might be doing a more dynamic survey and asking more qualification questions. So I would just do like a very simple light test with like 5 to 8 creatives, just straight to a lead form, and see what type of legal services are they selling that you're getting leads for.
Family law.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, I don't have any direct experience in like exactly what works within that sub niche, but I know that there's a lot of agencies out there that do meta ads for law firms, so I wouldn't second guess trying it and testing it at all.
Okay, that makes sense. And by lead forms, are you referring to lead magnets? Say, for example, like an article or like
No, just like Meta has like a native lead capturing form that's built into the creatives, which is like an alternative lead capturing mechanism versus sending people to a landing page or a website where they just submit their information directly within Facebook after clicking the ad. That's what the lead form is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Easy, no worries. Luke, you're up next. How can I help, man? Luke, you still on the call? You jumped off. Looks like you maybe jumped off. Ricardo?
Hey, Leah, how's it going?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Just a quick question.
sure.
It's already 20 to 11.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just based in Victoria. You mentioned that you had one of your clients in the medical spa, aesthetic clinics, went from like 10K, 15K to something like 30 grand, something in your real estate
Yes.
industry. Why this change? Because I work with medical spas
Where are
in
you
Australia.
located?
Near Melbourne,
Oh, okay.
Victoria.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of push back that specific example. I push back against them, and like I recommended that they didn't change niches because they already had quite a good established agency in that industry and they had a good base of clients, but they were kind of just like personally had sold themselves on the idea of changing niches, and I couldn't really convince them out of it. And they were kind of just didn't want to troubleshoot the regulatory guidelines of ARPA and things like that of making the creatives work, which is all very, very solvable. So I wouldn't be like looking at that going, I should change niches at all. I think med spas and cosmetic clinics are a great niche. It was just an example to showcase like how quickly you can scale a new offer from scratch.
Oh yeah, no, it makes sense. Definitely, like TGA and Opera, it's a bit scary. Before running ads, I make sure it's very compliant, not to be in trouble. But I kind of like that the niche. There's this growing industry in Australia, as you might know as well.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And I think those guidelines kind of scare people away as well, so it creates a little bit of a moat around
yeah,
getting into the niche as well.
yeah, that's one of my unique mechanisms that I use for my own agency, because if a agents from US try to work here with local business doing like selling Botox stuff like that, they'll be in trouble. I'm not sure if I'm aware about those guidelines. So yeah, I mean, I was just asking because I work in medical spas, and you say that your client changed. I was like, oh, what's the issue here? I was gonna ask you that actually.
What was the last question, sorry?
Now, as you mentioned that your
Oh.
client changed from medical spas to real estate, I thought there's any issue that you might know in a medical spa in Australia. But I mean, should be all good.
Any what?
Sorry, can you hear me well?
Yeah. You said any
No,
like examples or?
No, I just mentioned that as you said that your client changed from medical spas to real estate. I thought that there's an issue in this niche.
Oh, an issue.
That's why.
Okay,
Issue,
sorry.
yeah. Like
okay, yeah. I thought you were saying like any shoe, like
no,
a,
any
like
problem,
a shoe on your feet or something. That's
yeah,
good.
no,
I just
any problem or any sort of things, something like that.
No, there's no issue. There's no issue at all.
Perfect. And you're expert in the real estate industry. What are like the top initiatives that you see the best performing agencies in 2026?
Yeah, good question. Like, everyone asks that because like everyone kind of thinks like, to a degree, like obviously your niche is super, super important. I'll just tell you, like off the top of my head, you've got like the pay per lead niches that are solar, insurance agents, life insurance agents. Then you've got finance brokers, like auto finance or mortgages. Like that's a bit more advanced service delivery because you're doing pay per lead model and it's more competitive, and there's a lot of people competing in that space, but people that are in those niches make a shitload of money. I've done it a little bit as well. Then you've got your real estate, whether or not you're doing seller lead generation for residential real estate agents, or you're doing buyer lead generation for buyers agents, or off the plan projects and new builds. Then you've got all of your home services niches. So your custom home builders, your kitchen and bathroom renovators, decking and pergolas, pool installation businesses, driveway replacement businesses, retaining wall installation, tree services, land clearing, fencing, tree service, home services is really good because there's so many like micro sub niches and they're all high ticket. Like there's obviously a lot of homes and homeowners, and so they all have a large total addressable market.
Like lawn care, exterior cleaners, and stuff like
Not
that.
lawn care. Those are all low ticket. Like lawn care. Like if it was landscapers, like that do like big like landscaping projects, like windows and doors. Yeah, all of those are really good. Then you've got like your cosmetics and injectables, med spas, like aesthetic clinics, chiropractors, physiotherapists, orthodontics, dentistry, cosmetic dentistry. Like some people do, exclusive lead gen for dental implants or Invisalign consultations. All of those that I just mentioned are pretty much the main ones. Accountants and lawyers aren't bad. Can be difficult to build an offer around to do acquisition. They're tricky businesses to acquire, but very good for retention. And then obviously there's like the e-com world. I don't really touch that. I'm not an expert in running an agency in the e-com space. I'm a lead gen guy. That was already like 20 something niches. They're all really good ones. In the book, I've got a list of 40 niches. What's more important is that you like understand genuinely the winning ingredients of what goes into a good niche and kind of can go through a market research exercise of funnel hacking and identifying which niches are good to go after. Because, I can jump on here and tell you these niches, but then eventually they become saturated and more competitive. So I try and not reveal absolutely everything so that people can kind of stumble upon their own niches themselves.
Yeah. Have you met any agency kind of crushing in-home service buying like lower ticket things like lawn care or exterior cleaners,
You
pressure
never want to
washing?
work with anyone that's because all of those guys, like one, they don't have enough margin to afford agency services, and all of those low ticket services are usually like one-man shows, and they don't have enough cash flow to be able to afford. Like you don't want to charge anything less than $1,500 a month or $2,000 a month, and they just can't afford that. Like you can't build a business around it cheap. Like unless your agency was like you were doing an insanely high volume of clients for like a really cheap like $200 to $500 per month service, and that was your whole business, and you were just like going for a volume play to work with a shitload of just like small businesses like that, there's a case for that, but it's way slower and I don't like it. So don't work with people that sell cheap stuff.
Yeah, it makes sense. Cheap stuff like $500 less.
Yeah, like for example, like a land clearing business, they will charge like $3,000 an acre or something like that. Even like that's not super high ticket. If someone books a land clearing job, they need to clear 2 acres of land. It's like $6,000. They've got a decent amount of margin in there, but it's really cheap to get them clients. Or like even a kitchen and bathroom renovation client, $50,000 to $100,000 easily. And there's 25-30% builders margin in that. Like those bigger jobs is really what you need.
No, it makes sense. I thought about trying some exterior cleaners or lawn cares, just not to have my 100% of my eggs in the medical spa basket, due to the
well, I would just do sub niches within like the medical, because like there's med spas, but then there's also like dedicated like just cosmetics and injectable clinics, or then you've got like cosmetic dentistry. Like I would go within sub niches within the general industry that you're already in, not expand to a completely separate industry where you're like it's essentially like building an entirely new business from scratch.
Yeah, and then someone just mentioned here in the chat that those little small businesses, solopreneur, they broke and they don't want to spend $2,000 on ads.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Like dental implants, it's like $25,000 to get dental implants. It's like they can afford to spend a lot of money to acquire one of those patients. Like that's a good example. Obviously real estate. A real estate agent sells a house for $1 million. They're making $25K. if it costs you 1,000 to 1,250 to acquire that, they've done like close to 20x in earned commission from ad spend. Like, you need clients that have a deal structure like that.
No, it makes sense. I already changed my mind. I had a lit list of bunch of home servers, low ticket guys.
Yeah,
But
don't do it.
not gonna do it.
Cool.
Awesome, brother. I appreciate your time. Hope you're enjoying the sunny state.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
I'm just down in Victoria, but yeah, I'll be back in the Gold Coast eventually. To live up there.
Beautiful. Nice, man.
Study. I have a day. Cheers.
Cool, guys. I'm gonna have to wrap up now. Got a call in 10 minutes. That I got to do some prep for, but I hope you got a ton of value out of today's call. I'm gonna be doing more calls like this that are kind of more casual as well, and just kind of free Q&As in the community. I'm going on a holiday for like 10 days on a surf trip, so I'll be a bit inactive in the community over the next week or so. But once I'm back, yeah, we'll do more regular calls like this. So I'm hoping you all of you guys out. But have a good rest of your week. It was good to chat to a few of you. A lot of new faces. Chat soon. Happy scaling. Peace.